From I can't speak English to I can tell my story fluently, naturally, and beautifully. Well, hello everyone. Let's start with this simple question. Who studied English for many, many years? You can read, you can understand when you listen, you can pass the English exam. When you need to speak English in life, you become kind of quiet. You cannot think of words. You try to translate it in your head, but it is too slow. Are you that kind of person? If this is you, please type yes. Everyone, please listen. This problem does not mean you're bad at English or learning a language. It just means you're practicing the wrong way. Your practice does not match how the human brain works. Okay, well, there are three main reasons why we cannot speak English even after learning for many years or maybe more than 10 years. The first one is the translation trap. Let's look at it closely. Well, first you think of the sentence in Thai. Then you start thinking it in English. Then you check your grammar. Are you using the right tense? You write vocabularies, so you're going to pronounce it correctly. And then you start speaking. This makes your brain work too hard. It is too slow for real life. You try to do 4 things at the same time, and it's overloading. So you don't speak. You mute, and then people who are listening to you, they went away. The second thing is the passive knowledge. What it means. Like we know words, we know grammar rules from reading, from the test, but we never use it in our real life conversation. We never move our mouth to speak that word, to pronounce that word. We never use the speaking part of our brain. That's why it's sleeping. That's why it's lazy when we need to use it. So this is one of the problem. And the third thing is the personal gap. So, you know, the school tests always talk about something pretty far away from our real life. For example, the weather in London or Mary who live in New York. You know, we never talk about our life. But in real life, we need to talk about ourselves. People ask, what did you do? How did it go? How was your vacation? Or like, how do you feel? You know, people ask about you, but we never practice doing that. We learn about something else pretty far away from ourselves. So that's why it's a personal gap that makes us so miserable when we speak English. You know how your brain works? Now let's look at the human brain and how it works. There are 2 famous scientific theories explain why we must change our practice method. The first one is retrieval practice, or the pulling information out theory from Professor Henry and Professor Jeffrey. They did a famous study about memory. They looked at 2 groups of students. The first group is the re-study group, which means the input only. They just read books again and again. They remember things for a short time, like for a test, but then time passed. They forgot everything. Why? They have another group called the output group or retrieval practice group. They test themselves. They try hard to pull information out of their head. In the long term, they could remember and use words much better. Your brain does not get smarter when you just take information in. Your brain gets stronger when you try to pull the information out. So what this information is telling us? I think it's telling us to start retrieve the information. Try to summarize what we are learning. Try to tell ourselves what we understand. This method will reinforce the brain to remember that vocabulary much longer. If you don't want to lose it, you use it. Another interesting theory that's going to blow your mind and the way how you approach second language is the context-based learning and the episodic memory. Scientists say our brain has different boxes of memories. The semantic memory or the fact box. This box stores single words and grammar rules for tests. This is the easiest box to forget. If you just memorize the word frustrated for 10 times, your brain will forget it tomorrow. You might be able to pass the test today, but tomorrow or next 2 days, you're gonna forget it. But the box number 2, it's called episodic memory or experience box. This box stores your personal experiences. Your brain remembers things beautifully when they connect to real life stories, places, times, and emotions. If you feel it, then you can retrieve it. You can memorize it. Here's the secret. Context-based learning is the method, and episodic memory is the brain box. But when you learn English from real-life context, your brain changes the box. Instead of memorizing a boring word like frustrated, you put it into a real-life story in a real feeling. For example, I was frustrated because my internet stopped working during an important meeting. You have it. You have the story. You will be able to remember the word frustrated longer than just reciting it. Frustrated, you're gonna forget it for sure. But if you say, oh, I was frustrated because the internet stopped working while I was having an important meeting, it has a story. You will remember this word longer, better. When you learn English from real life context, your brain changes the box. Remember that. So from the short-term memory to long-term memory. When you have the story around the word frustrated, your brain remember better. So when you come across a similar situation like this, and the situation that makes you feel frustrated, you can retrieve the information and these words will come out of your mouth automatically. You don't need to translate from Thai anymore. It will just come out, That's the magic. To summarize, we must learn English through real life context so our brain can save English in our personal experience box or the box which is called episodic memory. This is the best box for natural and fluent communication. So let's talk about actionable plan. When you're not able to communicate yourself in English, the problem is not you're not good at English. The problem is that you only take information in, but you never pull it out. So let's change it today by using these 3 methods. The first one is self-contextualization or connect it to your life. Connect the vocabularies, the sentence, the pattern to your life. For example, the word exhausted. It means very tired. If you try to memorize it, exhausted mean very tired. Exhausted mean very tired. You're gonna forget it tomorrow. But if you connect this word to your story, today I worked for 10 hours, so I am exhausted. Or if you drove a car through the traffic, you can say, traffic was bad. I'm so exhausted. Traffic was bad. I'm so exhausted. See? You connect the word to your... See? You connect the word exhausted to your life. First, connect it to your life. The first thing that you can do. The second actionable step is, try this one, Retrieval Challenge. What is it? It's to speak first, then correct later. You just let yourself speak about anything. Maybe just 1 minute or maybe just 10 seconds. You just speak first. Correct later. It's not just speaking anything. It's speak first, then correct later. Otherwise, we're going to be using the wrong word, wrong sentence forever if you don't correct right? But if we correct it all the time, we won't speak. Let's push the confident button by speak first, correct later. Talk about anything that is relevant to your life. For example, what happened this morning? When you want to talk about the event that you spilled the coffee on your shirt this morning, you can talk about this. Start speak first by saying, morning, coffee on my shirt, coffee on my shirt. This is speak first. You don't care about grammar. You just let your voice shine. Just speak of anything. Then you correct it. See the transition gap. Maybe you're missing the vocabulary spilled. I spilled the coffee on my shirt this morning. This morning, I spilled the coffee on my shirt. For example, this is the correct letter part. See? You don't just speak coffee, spill, dirty. No, not just that. So you do speak first and then you correct later. This is very important. As much as this, speak first. Speak first. Well, the third step, how to practice and approach fluency. This one is very important. Storytelling. This is the method that I'm also using it myself. And it makes me learn new vocabularies, learn more about some part of the sentence that I'm missing, some of the transition words, some of the connection, pronunciation as well. So when you start to speak about yourself or what was happening on that day, you kind of learn new vocabularies. You also learned to translate your feeling into word. When I'm using the storytelling technique to practice speaking my English, I guarantee you, I feel so much more confident than before. I feel so fluent. I feel like I can use much more new vocabularies. I can tell more about my feeling and it's deeper, not just on the surface. I can tell things very precisely. So that's what I get from telling my story. When you start to tell your story, you can start by thinking about 3 questions. The first one is, when did it happen? What, yesterday? What is this morning? Was it last year? The second thing is, what happened in that event, in that situation? What happened? You can add about the details, some description, something that you want to share with the audience or with yourself, something that you want to share specifically, or things that you want to share with the audience. And the third thing is how you feel. How do you feel about it? How did you feel about the situation? For example, this situation, it's been a long time that I didn't wear heels. And in this event, it's the time when I'm back to heels. And I feel so exciting, It was the same feeling like when you didn't see your best friend for a long time and you saw them after 10 years, for example. It was how I feel. And I was telling this story on the video you can check out on my page. And I feel like, wow, I can speak so much. I can tell so much. And I can just, tell it in a very natural way. So I encourage everyone who's listening to me right now to start doing this. To tell your story. What happened in your life? When did it happen? How did it happen? Describe the things. And how did you feel? Add the feeling to the story. And then you're going to be able to tell the story in another language fluently, naturally, and smoothly. English is not a subject you memorize for a test. It is something you pull out from your real life every day. That's why I created Speak Your Story course. We know your problem. You learn a lot, but you never have a safe space to practice pulling out words from real life situation. In this course, we use brain science to help you speak. We will be doing the retrieval practice. In every lesson, we forces you to think and speak out loud. No more just listening and copying. Speak your story. We will do a context-based learning. Every homework is going to be about your life your job, your feeling, and we move English into a permanent experience box or episodic box. And then we will be doing the storytelling as well. So we will guide you step by step. We go from short sentences to longer sentences in natural stories. And every one of you will get my personal feedback. I will check your speaking, your pronunciation, and tell exactly how you can improve, how you can go beyond your limit. This course is not for passing school tests. It is for making you confident to speak. It will make you be able to talk continuously and ready to tell your story to foreigner naturally. And if you're listening and thinking, yes, this is my exact problem, I study for a long time but still cannot speak. I cannot find the right words when I talk to foreigner. I am stuck translating in my head over and over. I'm lack of confidence to talk about myself. People ask me, I can't explain, I can't describe. I would just keep quiet. I decided this course to last for 5 weeks. Every of the week, I will publish 2 lessons. Each of the lesson is an intensive lesson. It's going to be a workshop video that we're going to be focusing on the output and retrieval practice. So you will not just only learn, but you will practice immediately. Learn, practice, learn, practice. It's not just the passive video. It's going to be a workshop, extreme workshop video. And it's gonna be fun. Our student will be able to send your homework in a private Facebook group. We're gonna do a small group so I can focus on every of your growth, especially speaking and pronunciation. All right? Every one of you will get my feedback to help you grow fast. I'll tell exactly from my personal experience. I graduated from Thai school, from Thai university, and I'm able to speak English like I'm born in America. I understand you because I learned English the way that you have been learning for a long time. And I kind of realized when I met people in real life situation, I know what I'm missing. I know what is the best way to help you grow fast from not being fluent to being fluent. Speak naturally. Speak with your confidence voice because I have it. I am it. That's why I am teaching it to you. And I'm sharing this to you in this course, Speak Your Story. If you're ready to change from the person who can't speak English to a person who can tell her story confidently, naturally, and fluently, you can type story and send it to our official line account at English Smile to get a free speaking guide immediately. Or if you like to make a real change to your speaking, you can find out about the information, promotion, and more details at our line official account at English Smile. Or you can just inbox and talk to my team. If you think this content is useful and beneficial to you, and it's going to be beneficial for others as well, please share this to the person who needs it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the course or around here, English Smile. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.